Hello there, more wet and windy weather to come in the forecast. But it was a quieter looking day on Sunday, a scattering of heavy showers towards the west, but lots of dry and bright conditions too. It's across East Anglia and eastern Scotland where we'll see some of the drier weather as we head through the coming week. But
good morning, John and Sal. Good morning to you too. The weather for the next few days, in fact for the week ahead, remains fairly unsettled. It's murky, John. Yes, good morning both. Good morning to you too. Murky and also wet. This is one of our Weather Watchers pictures taken a little bit earlier in Shropshire. It shows it quite nicely. But the other thing you'll notice if you're just stepping out is how mild it is.
Whether all this wet weather that we've seen over the weekend. Carol, is that linked in any way to the hurricane that we've seen in the Caribbean over the last few days?
Yes, it is, John. Good morning, everyone. It's the remnants of what was Hurricane Melissa. Now, it's now an area of low pressure. It's got various fronts wrapped around it. I'll show you this in a minute. And it brought in a lot of rain overnight and windy conditions. The other thing you'll notice if you're just stepping out is how mild it is. There's tropical air embedded in this area of low pressure, and it'll be with us for the next few days before it's absorbed by a new area of low pressure coming in from the southwest. But obviously it is no longer a hurricane, it's just an area of low pressure. Now the forecast for this week, as I've just told you more or less, is it's going to be unsettled. There'll be rain at times, there'll be some brightness as well, and it's going to be windy and it's going to be mild for the time of year. How much rain is it going to be? Have a look at this chart here. This is the rainfall accumulation chart. Look at all these greens and whites. Here's the key. So in some western areas there will be a lot of rain, especially so on the hills. Good morning, John and Sal. Good morning to you too. This morning is mixed fortunes. We've had some heavy rain through the course of the night and the early part of today generally, but you can see how it's starting to break across Perth and Kinross with a little bit of sunshine coming through and a few showers. Still quite wet though in Suffolk, and thanks to our weather watchers as always for sending in these pictures.
Hi Nina, thank you very much. Good afternoon. It is looking pretty wet for some of us over the next few days, especially across the western side of the UK. That was the scene for a weather watcher in Cumbria earlier on.
Kate, we've both brought our big coats in today. It's too warm for them, isn't it?
It absolutely is, Victoria. Yes, it's going to be a really mild week as well. But with this mild air comes quite a bit of moisture as well. Not so much in the form of rain, although we have had a little bit this morning. There's a lot of cloud around.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. It certainly looks like autumn out there, but for some of us, it doesn't really feel that way. It is very, very mild across the UK. Temperatures right now in some spots in the northeast of Scotland, for example, northeast Wales, northwest England, 17 degrees Celsius. So a very mild feel. For some of us, a little bit of sunshine, for others, some outbreaks of rain, but all of us with this southwesterly wind bringing that mild air across the UK. Now,
hello again, a very good evening to you. I hope you had a super Monday, a super start to the week. A bit cloudy, the odd cheeky shower, but the weather isn't too bad over the next few days. Fairly dry, some rain around at times, still a bit breezy and fairly cloudy, but the main talking point is the temperature. It's mild. Take a look at this next chart and you can see that at times this week we will be about 6 degrees above average for the time of year. Into the late afternoon and evening, that's when you've got a slightly higher chance of seeing a bit of rain as it makes its way eastwards across London. So you might want an umbrella if you're heading out later on in the day. So for the outlook, as you can see, it's not too bad. Quite a lot of cloud, mostly dry, touch of rain at times, brighter at others. There we go, I'm hedging my bets, aren't I? And the temperatures staying fairly mild throughout. That's it from me, from the gorgeous lights. Have a fabulous evening. I'll see you later. Cheerio.
who's up on the roof? Hi.
Hello, Riz. Good evening. Well, the Met Office today announced that it was, in fact, the dullest, or the third dullest October for about 60 years. So the lights in Oxford Street making a nice change from all the cloud. If we look at the weather this week, it's been really mild today. We've got 16 Celsius. It's going to stay very mild. There's also quite a bit of cloud around this week. There's some light rain around, but on Wednesday, it's Bonfire night, of course, and it's also coinciding with a supermoon, the Beaver Moon, on Wednesday.
And as we move into our penultimate month of 2025, we have some weather warnings in force. I'll bring you all the details and a look ahead to the week
next.
And Becky, it's certainly feeling autumnal at the moment, isn't it?
Really is. I can't believe we're in November. Where has that time gone? And after such a dull October as well, we barely had any sunshine at all. And in fact, as we look ahead to our first November week, we do so with more in the way of these slightly disappointing conditions. Goodness me, it's only Monday and already I'm struggling. What's going on? We are certainly going to be seeing a very unsettled picture for the first November week. We are expecting quite a lot of rain around as well. More on that in just a minute. Often quite windy and amazingly mild. Now, this is really interesting. Let's have a look at what's going on. If we have a look at the synoptic sheet, goodness me, someone else come in. Whose teeth are these? Let's get mine in, back in. Over the next few days, we're expecting high pressure to sit out towards the east of us and low pressure out towards the west. That means that we have this constant stream of Atlantic weather systems, which give us a barrage of rain at times coming and going over the next few days. But what's really interesting is that because we've got high pressure sitting out towards the east and then low pressure sitting out towards the west, that is creating a very warm feed of air in from the near continent, and that is boosting the temperatures well above where they should be for the time of year. In fact, what we're actually seeing is temperatures probably 5 or 6 degrees above where they should be for this time in the year. We're actually seeing the temperatures by night warmer than we would normally see by day. So it really is very unusual indeed. But there's that rain. Let's get back to that. We have weather warnings in force. And although they are in fairly small areas, they're at places where the rain levels, the water levels are very sensitive indeed. So these are the areas that we're watching at the moment, where we are expecting that rain falling on saturated ground with the potential for localised impacts. Whew, we got there. Let's look at the forecast. Right, well, at least it's service with a smile through this evening, despite the weather, which is not looking particularly promising, as I say, as we move into November. Rain or showers never too far away. If you think back to that pressure sequence we had with the doors opening to the Atlantic and those systems rolling in, rain or showers, often quite windy as well, but at least that wind is coming from a warm direction. So it is going to be very mild indeed by day and by night. No car scraping for anyone this week. I was asking my forecaster earlier on if there was anything cheerful in the forecast, and he said, all we have to go with is mild temperatures. And I said, no one's going to be friends with me for the next few days. And I think that is a fact, don't you?
Well, I'm glad not to be scraping my car. Becky,
there you go.
Thank you.